Hi, my name's Dr. Rebecca Shallcross. I am a clinical psychologist and the founder of the Feminist Therapy Centre. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the 8 most common pitfalls I see when it comes to emotional regulation. So make sure you're nice and comfy, make sure you've got a brew, and we're going to dive straight in. First up, the first thing that I see is that people often believe that emotional regulation equals being calm all of the time. That regulation is about being calm. Regulation is about learning to tolerate our feelings enough to feel them and to use them as guides to what it is we need or want to do. So that might be about understanding how we can activate different states through different tools and techniques. Sometimes that might be about bringing a bit of calm to our nervous system. Other times, it might be about actually mobilizing our nervous system, taking action that we need to take. That might look like breath work. It might look like movement. It might also look like setting boundaries. It might look like saying what we need or want to say. There are a variety of different things that our emotions will be guiding us towards. So emotional regulation is actually about how do we tolerate and listen to and act appropriately around our emotions, not how do I remain calm all of the time. This is simply not possible if you're human. Second up, the second thing that I see so often is that people really want to get rid of emotions, and they see emotional regulation as a tool to do this. If I am able to emotionally regulate enough, I will never be angry, I will never be rageful, I will never be upset. It is simply not possible to get rid of normal human emotions. So one of the things that we can do is think about tools and techniques that allow us to feel our emotions. So a really great metaphor for this is if we think about our emotions as a beach ball. When we take that beach ball or our emotions and we push it down and we say, I must not feel this, I want to get rid of these things, and we spend a lot of energy pushing that down. Now, inevitably, at some point, that beach ball or our emotions pop up out of the water in a very strong way, right in our face. And so we spend a lot of time oscillating between suppressing and this big explosion of our emotions. If we allow our emotions and see them as human, we can allow that beach ball to be there. We accept that these emotions will be there. Sometimes they will bob closer to us where we're feeling more angry or we're feeling more sad, and other times they may float away, still there but not felt as much. And in this way, through this accepting of normal human emotions, we allow ourselves to experience difficult emotions as a human being rather than trying to get rid of emotions. The third thing that I see is people believing that their nervous system is somehow bad or broken. Our nervous systems develop in our environment and within the environment of other people's nervous systems. If you have grown up in stressful environments where your caregivers have struggled with their own emotional toleration or regulation, then this can affect how your nervous system operates. Similarly, if you've been in unsafe environments, your nervous system will have worked to keep you as safe as possible in that environment. Your nervous system isn't bad or broken. It may need some tools and techniques for you to be able to let it know that you are now in safe environments and for you to be able to use those techniques. But The fourth pitfall that I often see people falling into is the belief that being calm is equal to being morally superior. So if we struggle with anger or rage, particularly as women, we experience a lot of shame around those emotions because we see it as a moral failing rather than adaptive responses to living in stressful or unsafe environments. Number 5, it is not possible to come to the place of rest and digest, which is the calm place where we operate and we can think clearly, make decisions, we feel calm, we feel able to engage with people. We cannot come to that place if we are in unsafe environments or unsafe relationships. If this is you and you struggle to use emotional regulation techniques whilst being in an unsafe environment or an unsafe relationship, that totally makes sense. And I will link some resources below in the description that may be helpful for finding support in order to move towards safe environments and safe relationships where we can begin to start to think about our emotional regulation work. Number 6, your toolbox for emotional regulation really only consists of taking long, slow, deep breaths. And you find that this often doesn't work. And the reason for that may be because you are trying to use these techniques to get rid of the emotion rather than learn to tolerate, listen to, feel the emotion. It can also be because there are a variety of different tools that we can engage, and some people will find breathwork really helpful and other people may not. Being aware of what works for us and our nervous system, depending on what we need, whether that is to feel a state of calm or whether that is to feel more mobilized and into action, we can choose from a variety of techniques that work for us. Then emotional regulation can feel like it just fits better for us. Number 7 is that you either consciously or unconsciously uphold patriarchal narratives of womanhood and or motherhood. So this looks like the story that women should always be calm, nice, polite, and never angry, direct, or rageful. It might also look like mothers are supposed to be self-sacrificial and always present and never impatient. When we uphold these narratives, it can have a really detrimental effect upon our well-being because these narratives do not allow for the humanness of women. We are setting ourselves expectations and standards that are simply not possible to achieve. So being able to firstly be aware of these narratives and to be really honest with ourselves about where we uphold these, where we really desire to be a calm, patient person all the time, even though we know that's not possible, is really key in allowing us to bring our human selves to this process of learning about regulation. And finally, number 8. Number 8 is a big one, and it is that we don't utilize or incorporate regulation techniques into our daily lives, and instead we only pull them out the bag once we're already starting to feel dysregulated. Now, this is a little bit like learning all of your life to play the piano. And now I'm saying, maybe it might be helpful to also play the guitar. If you only bring out your guitar and play at a concert, i.e. when we're already feeling dysregulated, and we haven't picked up that guitar and practiced it in the days outside of this trigger, it's going to be really difficult for us to be able to access easily these tools. So one thing that is really important is that we start to utilize these tools and incorporate them into our daily way of being. This makes these tools more easily accessible in the moment of dysregulation, but it also has the effect of bringing our nervous system to a place of calm more often in the day, so that when we do experience a trigger, we may already be in a calmer place because we practice daily than if we only use these tools in the moment of dysregulation. So, if this is you and you have resonated with these 8 common pitfalls of emotional regulation, I want to invite you to my 30-day daily regulation ritual, where you can meet with me daily in order to practice these tools and techniques that will help you learn about what works for you and your nervous system. To find out more, click on the link below, and I look forward to welcoming you soon.